Getting nice and cozy.
G'day guys, how you going? Cam and Tiff while touring.
Oh no, come on.
she really didn't want to do an intro like that. I'll tell you something funny. You know how I always say, g'day Cam while touring?
Yeah.
There was a lady, I think her name was Christina, and she said, I did like one video I shot where I didn't do that because you told me not to. Because you're like,
people know who you are now.
if they're watching
like,
the video
this
anyway.
Is silly.
Yeah, and then this lady was like, oh, I'm really disappointed you didn't do that intro.
The intro, yeah.
Anyway, I'm putting all this in the start of this video.
I hate the intro.
G'day, we have picked a caravan and we wanted to tell you a bit about it today. So I'll tell you exactly what we bought and how we arrived to that decision, but I just thought I'd
Make your way a little bit.
Yeah, I just thought I'd sort of start this video by telling you a little bit about what we covered in the last video, like what sort of thought process went into choosing a van. So here's our wish list that you would have seen in the last video where we spoke about choosing a van. From a caravan, we wanted off-road capability, we wanted full size, no pop-out sections, no hybrids or anything like that. We wanted bunks for the kids, obviously, whether it's 2 bunks or 3 bunks, we weren't really bothered. We wanted an internal kitchen, shower and toilet, preferably separate if possible, but it wasn't a biggie. We wanted to have the kitchen on the awning side.
That wasn't a deal breaker. That was just us being picky.
Yeah, not a huge one. We wanted preferably to be, well, essentially it had to be under 3 ton fully loaded for our current car to be able to tow it. So that was really important. And with that, we knew we needed about 500 to 600 kilos of payload. So we're looking at something with a tear of around 2.4 to 2.5. We wanted composite construction. So fiberglass or aluminium foam inside so that it's insulated and lighter and stronger and less sort of susceptible to rot or dust ingress or anything like that. And then there was the budget. And our budget was around 100 grand max.
And we thought that was really generous, but we came to realise pretty soon that that's just sort of the starting point now.
For what we were looking at, yeah. That's like double the price that we spent on the last caravan.
Yeah. Crazy.
So with all that said, we sort of narrowed it down to an Elros, which is a WA builder here in Perth. He's based in Maddington.
Yeah, so he's sort of like a boutique custom builder.
Yeah. So what's the one over east that everyone suggests? Is it Sunland?
Sunland. I sort of feel like Elros is the Sunland of Western Australia. I don't know whether that is a fair representation, but they're sort of, they're a custom builder.
High quality.
Yeah, really good quality. But unfortunately, the budget is also very high because they are a niche
product
builder. Yeah.
So their prices were sort of around, for our layout that we wanted, their pricing was around 129 to 148,000. And unfortunately, that just pushed them out for us. We just couldn't stretch to do that. I think they're a really nice van, and if I had the money, then it would have been an option.
Probably we would have gone with Elros. And it just would have been cool to buy something built in WA. We could have, popped over and watched it being built as well. So,
and filmed it for you guys.
It's a little bit of a disappointment that we just couldn't make the budget stretch that far.
No. And then probably the next one that we would have, the other real front runner for us was Zone. So at the time, a Zone base was it started at 95,000, but by the time you added all the inclusions and stuff, it bumped it up to about 110,000.
Yeah. And that was just for the inclusions we wanted.
Yeah.
We were quite minimalistic with what we chose, I feel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Reason that we didn't end up going with a Zone in the end was because it was really close on weights for us, like really close. We might have just been able to do it.
Yeah.
And that's why we sort of waited until the last minute to sort of make a call on it, because we really wanted to go that way.
Yeah, we did. We actually got down to
a deposit.
We had like a build slot, bit like allocated to us. We had a deposit that we needed to pay, and we got down to the day of the deposit being due, and we sort of had cold feet.
Yeah. We just couldn't risk having $110,000 a caravan sitting on the driveway that was 100 or 150 kilos too heavy, because that's how close it was.
Yeah. So when we made that last video, the first caravan video, we were pretty like 100%. We were set on Zone. That's the way we were going to go. So yeah, it's funny that we backflipped all of a sudden.
Yeah, and it was quite time sensitive to make a call on the zone, because what happened in the meantime while we were sort of waiting to make a decision is they changed their lineup.
So they don't offer the base model now, it's the Sojourn, and it comes standard with lithium and aircon and like a lot of extras that weren't in the base model.
Yeah.
So yeah, now it starts at 128,000.
So that would have pushed it out of our budget anyway.
Yeah, but we had the base model locked in. It came down to the weights. It was just going to be a little bit too heavy.
Yeah.
Or it might have come out lighter, but we just couldn't get
risk
that
it.
guarantee.
Yeah. Then we were looking at the JB Gator. Now, you would have noticed that these other caravans are all over 18 foot, and being 18 foot or under was in our wish list.
Yeah.
So the JB Gator, size-wise and layout, was probably the best of the bunch for what we wanted. But timber construction and still fairly expensive. So that started at 87,000.
87, but with all the options we wanted, it was going to be just over 100.
Yeah, so for 100 grand, it was timber framed. Didn't have very much payload at all. Had 500 kilos of payload, which we know is sort of right, the minimum that we need. It's sort of right on the margin for what we wanted. We'd like a little bit more wiggle room than that. Also, it's a single axle 18-foot van, and we don't know everything about van design and engineering, but I know that generally when you start to get to that size, you generally want dual axles just for a bit more stability.
Yeah, it just sort of felt like it was too big of a van to be on a single axle. I don't know.
And people that we spoke to that do know what they're talking about sort of suggested that as well, didn't they?
Yeah, they did, yeah.
Yeah. And then the Jayco. So we, like, to be completely honest with you, we just kept going back to the Jayco because everything else we're looking at is $100,000 plus. The Jayco is like $74,000, and the layout was perfect, the weights were perfect, the size was good. It was a 19 foot, so a better size.
Yep.
The reason we didn't go with the Jayco?
We just had overwhelming responses from people, and the consensus is you either love your Jayco or you hate your Jayco.
Yeah. We just couldn't. We felt like it was a little bit of a risk in terms of build quality. There's more of them on the road than any other van.
Yeah, and that's probably why you hear a lot of negative stuff as well, because there are so many. They account for a huge share of the market.
Yeah.
And I often said to Cam, you know, everywhere that we went on our trip, we saw a Jayco. So it's not like we couldn't have dragged the Jayco into any of the spots we wanted to go to.
Yeah.
And then one night we were scrolling through YouTube, and I think I typed in Jayco Journey Outback review.
Yeah.
And the first video that came up was from a family that we had actually met on the road.
Yeah. And they were the caravan that we were thinking of, that we'd seen right up top of Cape Levee.
Yeah, we saw them on the Gib, I think.
They were on the Gib with us. So you pulled up this video.
I think it was titled "The 10 Things I Hate About My Jayco." And some of it was minor stuff.
That wasn't the video.
It was?
No, it was a final review or something.
Yeah, but I think it was titled 10 Things. Because remember, he did a countdown from 10 to 1 of the things he didn't like.
Oh, that's the same guy, but a different video.
Oh, okay. Anyway, he's got multiple videos about this video, about the journey. So, there was that, the 10 things I dislike about my Jayco. And then the other video was him talking about the fact that after they'd come back from their trip, they had a lot of repairs that needed to be done. They had a lot of water ingress and leaks. So they'd taken it back to Jayco Land or wherever it is over in Queensland.
I think that was their final warranty before their warranty period lapsed.
Yeah, and they basically said this van is a complete write-off. We can't repair it, so we'll give you your money back.
So I reckon there's two ways you can look at that.
Yeah.
It's not very good that the van was a write-off after 2 years of use that it was designed for. At the time, that was, and we'll talk about this in a second, but at the time that was an off-road van, or what they marketed as an off-road van. So not lasting, doing those kind of tracks over 2 years is not very good. But on the flip side, pretty good customer service to outright replace a van, to own up to, its shortcomings and to look after the customer. So, and your old man's got a Jayco and he's really happy with it.
And he loves it,
Yeah. But another thing happened as well. There's a couple of things with Jayco. The other thing is that I don't like that they're like an 18-month wait at the moment, I think. and they don't lock you in on a price. You put a deposit based on the price at the time, the market price, but they can give you price increases while you're waiting that 18 months. And we've spoken to people that have end up paying $8,000 or more extra by the time they receive their vans. So I don't really like that.
Yeah.
And
the other thing that someone mentioned to us as well was just to check the warranty for the Jaycos. So the Journey Outback doesn't actually, you're not covered with warranty if you take it off-road. Whereas I think the next model up,
All-Terrain,
the All-Terrain, that is now considered their off-road caravan.
But if you read the wording of that warranty policy, if you're looking at buying one, seriously look over the wording of that warranty policy, because it's a little bit ambiguous how they define what is off-road.
Yeah.
Anyway, that made us a little bit nervous. So the Jayco Journey Outback no longer considered an off-road caravan since they brought out the all-terrain. So they wouldn't have covered us if we had bought one and we'd taken it on the tracks we want to take it on. So we'd have effectively no warranty. The other important thing about that is if you're taking a van off out of the conditions that it's designed to do, as per the warranty policy, you also may have issues with insurance if you have an accident or anything like that. So these are things that we considered. A lot of money to potentially have no warranty or insurance.
Yeah, and then if we were looking at the all-terrain, that was upwards of 90,000. So it
was too heavy. The weight, the weights were relative to the other things we were looking at anyway, which were around the same price, and we felt were probably a more suitable build for us.
So yeah, we basically scratched everything off our list and started from scratch. We had no clue what to do.
Which was a bit of a low point, eh? It was for me anyway. I felt pretty low about that.
Yeah.
Right. I just want to make one point. When you're looking at this list of the vans that we were considering, and you can see the pricing there.
Oh yeah, so we'll show you our spreadsheet of our final 5 that we came down to. Yeah.
So if you look at the prices there, you can't really compare them directly because, first of all, this was ticking the options that were suitable for us personally, for our build, so it's not going to suit everyone. And second of all, some of the caravans came with standard inclusions like aircon, washing machines, 200 to 300 litres of water. Other ones had to be optioned up to get those inclusions. So you can't directly compare those things. Also, in terms of like battery, solar, inverter, we were just getting whatever the basic package was. Some of them came with a basic package of lithium and a lot of solar, and other ones were sort of smaller, more simpler setups. Because our plan was always going to be, and is always going to be, to do all the battery stuff aftermarket through off-road living. So yeah, just take that into account with the pricing. So yeah, we scratched them all, and we ended up sort of going back to the drawing board.
Square one, really.
Yeah. And then I think I'm pretty sure how it went down, someone wrote a comment on our last video where we were talking about caravans, and they said, why haven't you? I mean, we've had heaps of good comments actually on that note. Thank you for all those that suggested things.
Lots of brands that we'd never even heard of as well that we did lots of research on. So yeah, it was good.
So one of these comments, someone said, why haven't you considered a Willow?
And they originally were on our list.
Yeah.
The main reason why we scratched them off was because we were looking for something around 18 foot.
Yeah.
And they have a 19-foot family van, but it's only a double bed and it's an east-west bed. But a double bed is just not big enough for us.
No. Tiff's she's big. She needs.
So yeah, that's why we scratched that off our list. And then, yeah, we sort of came back around in a full circle to them because we were looking at when we were going to pull the trigger on the Zone, and the Zone was 20 foot.
Yeah, so we'd ended up looking at 20 foots anyway.
Yeah, so we came back to Willow again, and we thought, hey, there's a 20-foot van that ticks every box.
So I've replied to this comment, and I've said, yeah, we'd consider one, but there's no dealer and we can't look at one. Yes. And then this bloke's replied, and whoever it was, thank you. I'm sorry, I can't recall exactly who it was. But he's replied, or she's replied, and said, yeah, there is. There's a dealer down in Rockingham now. And this had happened in the meantime. This dealer had opened up since we were looking. I can't
remember if it went down like that. Or didn't he get on the... I'm sure he got on the Willow owners Facebook group for us, and he said that we were looking for a van in Perth.
That happened next. Because,
did it?
Yeah, because then we contacted... So Bergman's was the dealer. So we went with a Willow.
Yeah,
it's pretty obvious.
I can't remember how or why, but we did.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you to this man that that he reached out on the owners group for us on our behalf and asked if anyone was in Perth with a Willow or a BOAB that we could look at.
Because the dealer doesn't have any in stock.
Yes, he doesn't.
Which seems to be the case with a lot of caravan dealers. They're selling them before they even arrive, so they've got no demo stock to show you. I think that dealer said he was going to buy one just as a demo.
Yeah, they've got one coming next month. It's a demo.
That's right. So, yeah, if you are looking at a Willow, you can go to... It's Bergman's was the dealer.
Yeah, down in Rockingham if you're in Perth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this really nice fella has asked on the owners forum who's got a BOAB or a Willow that's in or around Perth that could show us through, which was really kind of him. And a couple of people reached out to us.
Yep.
And Reese and Gemma from Van Roaming, they have a Willow conifer, and they were staying at Coogee
No, Illawarra.
Oh, Illawarra. So it's still a Willow, but it's just a slightly different. The internal layout was exactly the same, but I think it's
the bed was different.
Yeah, different bed, and I think it's slightly longer.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's a Willow, and it gave us an option to have a look at the build quality and also get a feel for the layout and stuff.
Yeah, so they were staying they were passing through Perth and staying at a caravan park, and they were very kind to let us come down and look through the van and look under it and over it. And,
and they were really, really happy with it.
Yeah.
They've had a couple of Willows and they couldn't speak highly enough of the company, and that was reassuring for us.
Yeah.
So we've gone with a Willow RV BOAB 621.
Yep. So it's a 20-foot dual axle van. It ticked all the boxes in terms, most importantly, it ticked the boxes for weight. So I think its tear weight comes in at 2,450.
Thereabouts, yeah.
Yep.
From factory, it comes with a 3.2 tonne ATM, but we've done an ATM upgrade. They changed a couple of things, and now it'll be 3,400 kilos ATM, which gives us about a 950 kilo payload, which we won't use all of because we have GCM limitations. But we can comfortably get 550 to 600 kilos of payload in it, and we'll be sweet weight-wise. And if we get a bigger car in the future, we can load some more gear into it.
Yep. Yeah, so most importantly, weight was really good, and then budget was our second most important thing.
Yeah.
And the base price of it comes in, I think it was about 85 or 86,000, which is really reasonable, we felt, for
a fully composite off-road family caravan with a good weight. It's probably one of the better priced vans we came across, I think.
Yep.
So, yeah, fully composite, coil sprung, off-road family bunk caravan.
Yep.
So ticked all those boxes. A little bit longer, like we sort of mentioned before. It's 20 foot. We wanted something around 18 foot, but we just couldn't find it in our layout.
Yeah.
The only sort of shortfalls were that the kitchen's not on the awning side. It's sort of flipped around. We still like the internal layout.
Yeah, it's not a big deal.
So it wasn't a biggie.
Yeah.
Yeah, slightly longer than we wanted. And unfortunately, Willow won't do airbags at the moment. They have done in the past, but they wouldn't put airbag suspension on it.
Yeah, I mean, to be completely honest, they're not all that flexible for changing up, adding custom things or changing things.
No, they have been in the past. Look, we're just sort of guessing. We don't really know, but it's probably a lot of caravan manufacturers are the same at the moment. It's just because they've got so many orders, they're not willing to change too many things on the production line.
And then I think with COVID, they've had supply issues with certain brands.
So you might have seen this caravan before. Trip and a Van have actually, before they had that, now they've got a Sunseeker Desert Storm. Before that, they had pretty much this exact same model. In fact, I think they had something to do with designing it.
Yeah, I think they might have. It used to be called the BOAB X back then.
Yeah.
So it's changed a little bit since then. But yeah, I think they had something to do with the initial design of it.
Yeah. So as you know, like pretty much every caravan manufacturer has got somewhere between like a 12 and 24 month wait for caravans at the moment.
Oh yeah.
We got really lucky because because it's a new dealer opening up here. He had some sort of arrangement with Willow where he gets allocated build slots.
Yeah.
So when we spoke to him and said, "Have you got any of these in stock?" and he said, "No, but I've got one coming," and no one's bought it yet. We had the option to buy that first one that he was ordering in. And that meant that the build slot we've got is May this year, like next month.
Yeah, next month.
So we're going to have a caravan for, at this point, it looks like June or July.
Yeah, but I think it was sort of late June.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To mid-July.
Yeah.
We're not holding our breath or crossing our fingers because things are crazy at the moment. So we might not even get it till August.
Yeah, although last time we spoke to the dealer, he said that it was in the production line and it was due to start
Everything's
any
on
day.
track.
So, yeah, we were lucky because over East, if you buy a Willow, either direct with them or through one of their dealers over East, it's over a 12-month wait list.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, we were lucky with that. But on the sort of the downside, we've now only got sort of 2 months to save.
To pay for it.
to pay for it and to save. Because we were sort of banking on the fact that we'd have 12 months more to save.
A bit more money.
More money.
But we're still wrapped to have it early.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah.
It means we can get out and about sooner and...
And just so that you know, they've done us, we have no obligation or affiliation to Willow. We paid full retail price and we're not getting it any quicker than anyone else or anything like that.
No. Yeah, I think it's quite funny on sort of in social media and on YouTube with all of these travelling families now. There's sort of a bit of a fake it till you make it type thing. There's a lot of...
Not all of them.
No, not all of them.
But some of them.
There are some of them out there that are sort of alluding to the fact that they've been given a free caravan or they've got stickers all over their van, with products that they might represent or...
and on their cars and stuff.
To work with... I don't know, we sort of have a little bit of a chuckle about it because it's...
We know what it's really like, and honestly, no one's given you free caravans. And
not in this market, hell no.
And probably not ever. Not unless you're...
Maybe if you're tripping a van, I don't know. Maybe they've been...
Oh, yeah, I don't know what the go is with them, maybe.
Yeah. But yeah, we're certainly
not getting any free caravans. We paid full retail price for it, which sucks. But we
got given $1,000 discount from the dealer.
Oh yeah, but
I think that was but I think that's just because we asked for it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, but the flip side is that it means we have absolutely no obligation to say, untruths or anything like that. We'll tell you exactly how we go with it. So far, it's been they've been good to deal with.
Yeah, they have. Yep.
The dealer's been really good to deal with. Nice fella.
Yep.
So it's all positive. Plans for when we get the thing.
Yep.
In terms of what we're going to do to it, I've got it booked in already with Off-Road Living, I sort of mentioned before. So they're going to do a big 12-volt build, big inverter, big battery bank, big solar array so that we can run the aircon, compressor fridge and all that sort of stuff off-grid for lengthy periods. We're going to get a diesel heater put in it. I think Willow did offer... Oh, they do have an option, sorry, to put...
they've got the gas, the Trima gas system.
Which I think is really good, but...
I think it was really expensive.
It was $3,500 or something.
Yeah.
That's just how much they are. I think even good diesel heaters are that much.
Oh, are they?
Yeah, we're just going to go cheap diesel heater again. We
had one in the camper trailer and it was great.
And in the caravan, the last hybrid.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so they're like $400 or something. I'll install it myself. I might video it if any of you are interested. Dust reduction system. We're going to look at fitting maybe a Caravan Sahara, an electric dust suppression system.
Willow offer, we can talk about that. Willow offer the Dometic DRS system.
Which is like a passive one. It's just a big air ram. And
we've never had one, so we can't really comment on how well it works, but we have heard that it's not as effective as the Caravan.
Yeah. Also the Caravan's made here in WA. I like that.
Yeah. We are sort of hoping though, we don't really know, but we are sort of hoping that we're not going to have dust issues.
Yeah. So this is sort of preventative. It's a little bit of money to spend on preventative measures, but the thing is, like, the real estate on top of the caravan, on the roof of it, is pretty precious, and a lot of that's going to be take up with solar panels.
Yeah.
And I want to get the most amount of solar panels I can fit up there, but I would hate to cover the entire thing in solar panels and then realise we've got a bit of a dust issue, and then I'm going to remove panels to fit a dust reduction system later on. So I thought we'll fit some sort of dust reduction system first, and then we'll fit as many panels on the roof as we can afterwards. So I'm sort of shooting for somewhere between 700 to 1,000 watts of solar. We'll see how we go with that. I really don't know yet. We need to get the van, get it to Off-Road Living and get them to have a look at it, run the tape measure over it, see what we can do.
Yeah. And then with the dust as well, there were a few other little things that we changed up that after speaking and being on the Willow Owners group on Facebook, such as changing the door over. There's a different door you can get, which apparently helps with dust. And then with the compressor fridge as well, they can delete the external vents.
Yeah. If you
on the van
with the 3-way fridges, the gas fridges, and even some compressor fridges, they have external vents to vent the hot air out.
And from what we heard, the fridge and the door were the 2 entry points for dust. So we're hoping that will negate the
risk of dust.
The risk, yeah.
And then airbags. Like I said, Willow don't offer airbag suspension anymore. So disappointing, because I just really wanted that. Rock up to camp, press the button, and the thing levels out.
That would save a lot of arguments.
Yeah, it would. It's a pretty expensive system. We're going to look at options. There's a couple of brands that do aftermarket airbags, so I'll look into that. I really don't know yet. If you've done that yourself, or you've got any suggestions on a good kit, please let me know.
We'll have it in the next few months, and we've already got our first trip planned for a few months after that.
Yeah, we're going to one of our favourite places in WA.
Yep. Are we saying where?
Yeah.
Oh, yes. So we're going to 14 Mile in Woora Station, so up near Coral Bay Way.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed we can take the van, and you're hoping the tinny as well. But
yeah.
We'll have to. Yeah, we'll have to once we get the van, we'll have to sort out weights and do a final weigh of everything. There is
the potential that I will be able to take a tinny with this van because the weights were quite good.
Yeah.
But like you said, I want to get the van here, load it all up, weigh it all again, see where we're at. Might be able to delete a little bit of weight. Still plan to swap the tinny out for something lighter because that thing's too heavy. Yeah. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Oh, I so want to be able to take a tinny. I'm just going to rip through a couple of other sort of frequently asked questions we got on the last video, and we get messages and stuff sent through. A lot of people are like, hey, why don't you just get a new car, something that can tow more, and then you're not going to have all that stress. Even one of the bloody caravan manufacturers suggested that, didn't he?
Yeah.
Cheeky bugger. Can't afford it, mate. Just don't have the coin. We're buying a $100,000 caravan. There's nothing left.
We cannot buy a new caravan. Plus, we're doing a lot of renovations at home as well. So we cannot be doing renovations at home, a new caravan, and a new car. That is absolutely out of the question.
Yeah, we've worked really hard for what we've got already. We don't want to live in debt. We own everything we've got, and we just got to live within our means at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It may be down the track.
Definitely down the track.
Yeah, I mean it's getting its kilometres on it, and it's getting older as we speak. But I think
not at this point.
Not at this point. And for our next big trip in 2025, we do plan to take the D-Max.
At this point, I think unless things change.
Yeah.
Oh, a few people just noted that the price of caravans is crazy.
Yeah.
We agree.
I agree. I think it's completely outrageous.
Yeah. They're too expensive for what they are. I don't understand how, like, my car was $40,000 when I bought it, like brand new car with millions of dollars of R&D that have gone into it. I don't understand how, like, a steel chassis with some styrofoam walls is over $100,000. I don't know.
It's outrageous.
And then that leads into quite a few people said, why don't you just build your own? There's companies like, I think Styromax is the one that a few people referred to me, that will do kits, or that you can order panels through and you can build your own. There's a couple of reasons why I wouldn't do that. First of all, I don't have the skills, and I don't have the time.
Yeah, definitely don't have the time.
Or the space, really, to build something either.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, and then on the topic of price, a lot of people also said, why don't you wait? Because when international travel starts again, there's going to be a flood of the market in second-hand vans. But really, we struggled to find something new that ticked all of our boxes. I really don't think we would have found something second-hand.
No.
That we would have been 100% happy with.
Yeah, and we just don't want to wait. We don't want to wait for ages and ages and ages. Yeah. Kids are young now.
And I don't think new, like in terms of buying new, I don't think they're going to drop the prices. They'll probably plateau for a number of years, but I certainly don't see prices going down.
I think lead times will get better. I agree. I reckon prices will plateau for new vans, but I don't see them ever getting any cheaper. But yeah, secondhand definitely. Like if it was just you and me, and we're just looking at a caravan for the two of us, we'd be buying secondhand. Or if we weren't really picky on weights and layouts. It's not about the interior stuff. I couldn't care less about like customizing colours and stuff like that. It's just the weight and size of the things.
It's funny though, because we did say we were happy to wait years. I mean, we're not taking off again till 2025.
Yeah, you've missed camping though, eh?
I have actually, and Brody as well has been like the easiest baby in the world, touch wood.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's been amazing. He sleeps really well. He's just a really happy, content baby. And I honestly think we could take him camping now.
Yeah, so do I.
And it would work well.
Whereas Chloe was a nightmare at this age and we hated camping with her.
Yeah, she was quite a difficult baby. Well, at the time we thought she was easy, but in retrospect, now that we have a unicorn baby, she was quite difficult. So yeah, I would absolutely take Brody camping right now and think he would be absolutely fine.
Yeah.
So yeah, that has made me itchy to get out there and travel again and go on holidays. Especially now that I'm off work as well, like on maternity leave.
Yeah, I know.
I've got all the time in the world. I sort of...
Tiff's got the year off. You got a year off with Brody. And I'm ready to quit. Someone asked, do we feel like a bigger van will compromise where we can go? What do you reckon?
We always said yes, it would, but we also came to realise that we weren't taking our little van anywhere that we didn't see bigger vans.
Yeah, I reckon what we'll find is sometimes, like you said, we'd rock up to a remote campsite and there was hundreds of k's of gravel or crappy roads to get into, and then we'd see bigger vans there. The difference is that with a small van, you can probably get that last little pokey site that's right on the edge of the cliff or right on the beach, and a bigger van, maybe you'd be 20 metres back in a slightly more open space. I reckon we'll find that. But the truth is we don't know. We had a 13-foot caravan. We've had a 16-foot caravan before, and we hated towing that. We felt like it was too big. So we bought a 20-foot. No, that was a long time ago.
Yeah, it was. And
that was our first van. We weren't too keen on towing something that big at the time.
I think as well, like now that we've got kids as well, we don't actually mind caravan parks all that much. We still do a lot of free camping and stations and national parks as well, but we don't mind the odd caravan park. The kids love it. Yeah,
keeps them entertained, and if they're entertained, then it's easier for us.
Yep.
The other thing is, like, I hated the idea of caravan parks when I was when we only camped in camper trailers and swags and tents and stuff, and that's because you're outside all the time. But if you've got a big caravan with everything inside it, you go out all day, looking at all the sites, and then you come back to your caravan and you go inside to have a shower and sit on the couch or sit on the bed.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to having a couch and I just think it would be really nice having a bigger van.
Yeah.
Separate shower and toilet. An island bed that we can walk around. The kids have their own domain down the back with the bunk beds. I think it'll be really good. So you probably won't see me outside at all anymore. I'll just live in the caravan.
Yeah. But I reckon once the kids have grown up and they're in their own swags or they don't come away with us anymore, I still think we go back to a smaller van, don't you?
Yeah.
Because you can get all that, everything we want in a 16 or 18-foot caravan if you don't have bunks.
Yeah. It's funny though, we chop and change our minds so much.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe we'll be in a motorhome.
Next year you'll probably see us selling everything and buying a camper trailer again.
Or a yacht.
No way.
Tiff gets seasick, otherwise we'd be in a yacht right now.
That actually sounds like my worst nightmare. I would hate to live on a yacht.
Sailing La Vega Wild.
Yuck.
I could do it. Do you want to get Brody up? Show him Brody.
Oh yeah.
And I'll show you our towels. Oh, you don't want everyone to see your trackies?
No, I don't care.
No. We got some towels. If you haven't seen these on the website already, these are pretty cool. That's what they look like folded up. They are a quick dry. They are a compact, quick dry microfiber towel, about the size of a water bottle kind of thing. Really happy with these. I've got one in the car, one in the boat, in there all the time. I probably won't be using it as like a shower towel in the caravan, but I'll always have one in the back of the car, so if we go for a drive to the beach or anything like that, there's a towel handy. And yeah, they're like a microfiber material, so they dry really quickly, so that'll be handy. Anyway, they're on the web shop. If you want to support the channel, have a look. Hello.
And if you've stuck around this long, you are rewarded with cute baby. Say hello. Oh, he's not in focus. Here we are. Hello.
Righto, happy with that?
That it?
Cool.
So yeah, when we get the van, we'll give you a little of a tour and show you around.
Yeah, shouldn't be too long now. Cheers guys, see you in the next one.